We are in 7.3, ready, set, go, number 15. And the question says, find the quadratic equation with solutions of x equals to 8.8 plus 5i and x equals 8 minus 5i, and then assume that the coefficient is x squared. So your answer, like, I don't know, I'm pretending that this is my space that I have to use to answer. My answer all the way down here is going to be like this. It's going to say x squared plus blah, 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 blah. And then this x squared equals to 1, the coefficient of x squared is 1, is the one that's invisible sitting right here that I'll make visible. It's a 1. So what they're asking me is to find the rest of the quadratic. Okay, so just a couple of ideas here. The reason why they give you this information, the coefficient is 1, is because can you pretend that they didn't give me imaginary or complex solutions, and they just gave me two numbers? So let's say they said, okay, here are your two solutions, or your x-intercepts, whatever, however they label it. Either they give you x-intercepts or solutions, and this is what it looks like. And they want you to find the parabola that goes through there. Well, there's not only one parabola that goes through there. There's actually a lot. Technically, there's an infinite number um, of parabolas that go through those 2 points, right? So the reason why they tell us the coefficient is 1, because now you're not finding a parabola, you're finding the parabola that meets all of these constraints. Okay, so the very first thing that you're going to do is you're going to turn your solutions into the factors. And so I like to remind you that when you were solving these, you had, like, I don't know, I'm going to pretend x plus, let's actually do x squared plus, I don't know, 5x plus 6 equals to 0. And then you would factor it. So you got x plus 2, x plus 3 equals to 0. And then you set each piece equal to 0 because of the zero product property. And then you solved each one. And then you got x is equal to -2, x equals -3. And there's your answer, right? So there's your solution. What they're doing is they start you here, and they want you to go backwards and find your solution. Okay, I mean, not your solution, your quadratic. Okay, so basically, we're just going to go in reverse order, and we're going to find this. So because they gave us our solutions, I'm going to write out this line right here, which is me basically solving for 0. So I'm going to solve this for 0. So I get x minus 8 minus 5i equals to 0. And I get x minus 8 plus 5i equals to 0. Okay, so that's this line. Then the next thing I notice is, we take those two factors and we put them in parentheses and we set it equal to 0. So we say x minus 8, minus 5i, and x minus 8 plus 5i equals to 0. And then the next thing I notice, now we've actually multiplied them together to find that quadratic. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to multiply these two using the box, because that's just keeps everything organized and I don't forget anybody. So then I put x minus 8 minus 5i. So I get x squared. I get minus 8x. I get xi. And then I get negative 8x. I get a 64. And then I get negative 40i. And then just continuing, I get 40i. I get, no, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm moving too quickly. I get negative 5xi. I get 40i. And I get negative 25i squared, which is just 25. Because remember that I squared equals to -1, right? Okay, so with that all being said, now I'm just going to start adding like terms together. So then I get x squared, and then I get negative 8x plus negative 8x, which is negative 16x. I get negative 5xi and 5xi, they cancel. Same thing with 40i and negative 40i. And so now I have to add 64 plus 25 is 89 equals to, I don't know, f of x. That's your function. So that's how you solve that. And then what happens is like, you're like, okay, but Miss Johnson, how would you check it? Well, let's see. Checking one of these would be just you plugging excuse me. You plugging this in to x here, and it should come out to be 0. Okay. So one more time, what did we do? First we solved for 0, right? We solved for 0, and then we just multiplied, and then that gave us our final answer. Okay. All right. Thank you for listening.